a 9-member wonderful team of judges to judge the finals. So first, Pradeep. Second, Pravi. Third, Saga. Fourth, Samiksha. Fifth, Sandesh. Sixth, Chitiz. Seventh, Anura. Eighth, Region. And the judge that will be chairing this debate is Saja. So without further ado, I'd like to hand the mic to the chair of this judging panel.
One, that I'm chair. Second, because it feels like I killed the king and now I get the kingdom. Because originally Vishal was supposed to be chairing, but since his debaters are here and to maintain, lack of bias, I'm here today. So thank you, Vishal. Just to follow up code of conduct, I will not be making any welcomes right now, but afterwards in my speech, we'll just get to our debate directly right now. Our debate format is that of WSDC, which is 8 4 minutes, right? We are all familiar with that format. Just a reminder for us and for our new audiences, we say the government side, but the government side is not the government of Nepal. It is simply the side that defends the motion, that is for the motion. And of course, the opposition is against the motion. The motion of the House today is that this House believes that Kathmandu will be a livable city by 2030. Of course, the other things, debaters will not engage on personal attacks. Debaters will attempt to fulfill speaker roles. Debaters will wait 10 seconds before raising the next POI, please. Debaters will speak their POI for only 15 seconds and use their microphones while they do. And the only word allowed to be spoken by the audience is here, here, in appreciation, not woo or ah or nothing like that. Thank you very much. Only here, here, and some decent clapping. So I'm very excited to commence this debate between what has been truly the best debaters I have ever seen. So I'm very honored to have been here to judge you. I would like to now invite the government's Prime Minister to deliver his speech. Please wait a second while we confirm our timekeeper.
He's here.
All right, thank you. You may begin.
Kathmandu will be a livable place by 2030, based on our policy of people-centered development. Let me begin, gentlemen. What is livable? Livable is different for different people. Livable in terms of infrastructure, livable in terms of social welfare, livable in terms of other things like environment, culture, city space, managed urbanization. These all things are to be considered, and this side of the house, the proposition, believes a city that keeps people happy by providing all the infrastructural, emotional, social, cultural, environmental needs equally to all its citizens is a livable city. A livable city is one where people are not restricted to their birth status and people are lacking the physical and spiritual needs. That's what we mean by livable. Now let me go to the other part, which is equality. What is equality? equality for this side of the house. It's not about providing equal opportunities to differently skilled people. It's about giving equal opportunities during the skill development period. That's what we mean by equality. And then let me move on to the thing called unmanaged urbanization. This house believes the lack of proper availability of infrastructure is unmanaged urbanization. I hope I have clarified, livable does not mean ideal. Let me move on. What is the government proposing? Our policy. Our policy will focus on promoting equality and encouraging public-private partnership and entrepreneurship so that we'll have a better future. For this, we have three basic agendas. To continue the ongoing infrastructure program with focus on public-private partnership, PPP, and entrepreneurship. In the government in the past has shown various problems while implementing its projects. So we want to make sure we reap the benefits of public-private partnership. Secondly, to improve the quality of public sector. It's not like we have we don't have people in Kathmandu who can do things. It's not like we don't have teachers. We have teachers, but they have not been provided enough incentive in the public sector. So we hope to improve the quality of public sector, not in just teaching, but in all the sectors. Now, the third thing that we like to incorporate in our policy will be encouraging equality in future development, according to our definition of equality. The fourth thing, I hope I make it clear, government responsibility to those who are harmed during policy implement will be looked after by the government side of the house. They will be looked after by the government side of the house. Let me focus on our arguments. What will be our arguments? First argument, there will be a completion of ongoing project by 2030 because of implementation of our policies. That will be our first argument. Second argument, social mobility will fulfill the social issues regarding livability. Second argument. Third argument, unmanaged urbanization will be solved by 2030 based on our policy. That's the third argument. Now let me move on to our first argument, which is completion of ongoing project by 2030. For things to be livable, what do we want? We want to enjoy life. To enjoy life, what do we need? We need things in proper amount. We need energy in subsequent amount. If you want to do a project on computer for 3 to 4 hours, we need to do that without load setting. That's what we believe. So to analyze this, we need to look at past data. What is the trend in past? What is the trend now? And what will be the future? So let me begin. Let me talk about infrastructural facilities, hydropower. Let me begin with hydropower. In 2000 AD, the total amount of hydropower was 125 megawatts. 14 years since, today, the production is over 700 megawatt. This is a huge increase in hydropower. Half the budget have been planned for next 16 years to develop hydropowers, according to Nepal Rashtra Bank. So we can easily deal with electricity and the demand by 2030. The budget now is more than twice after counting inflation. Projects like Upper Thamakosi of capacity 450 megawatts will be completed by 2016. Similarly, since majority of the upcoming power plants will focus on the creation of electricity using reservoir, the problems of electricity will be solved by 2030. In past, we have seen progress. Now, the ongoing progress and future will again see the progress, which will make sure Kathmandu city will be livable by 2030. Again, reservoirs serving as a proper tourist spot might be an added advantage. Nepal, known as the sector where energy is so developed that it sells its energy to China and India, would be an added advantage. And along with hydropower, alternative energy like wind and solar power will also add to the reputation of Nepal and Kathmandu city as place with high energy mix. Environment. Let's talk about environment. People are already focusing on environment today. What we see is increasing mass interest in environment. Now what we see in Kathmandu is Bagmati cleaning campaign. Now what we see in Kathmandu is no polythene campaigns. That is what we see. Now what we see in Kathmandu is Kathmandu as a cycle city. These campaigns show that the current status of Kathmandu city is much more focused on environment. And we believe the solution...
Sir.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you have to say about the air pollution?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the question. Air pollution. The solution of the air pollution things need to come from public. That's what we believe. The recent origin of public cleanliness program like Bagmati cleaning campaign shows that pollution can be dealt with public initiation. That's what we believe. So, let me move on. Environment issues dealt with. Now, drinking water. The Melanchi project, once completed, will provide water necessary, even if there is population growth rate. The predicted completion of Melanchi is by 2016. This project is on schedule to be completed by then because of the ongoing rate of tunnel digging. What we believe, what we want, in our policy we have mentioned that we'll encourage public-private partnership. Today we can see in July alone 570 meters of tunnels was built. For the reference, the whole length of tunnel is only 27 kilometers. In July alone, half kilometer of tunnel was built. So what can we develop? How much tunnels can we develop? Let's predict it. So by 2016, I think Melanchi will already have come in Kathmandu. Then again, talking about population increase, we also can add Yakri and Langri River into the equation. Adding that, when the population will be higher in 2030, we can deal with drinking water issue. Now, health issue. How is health going to be resolved by 2030? Public-funded healthcare is the solution, people. For the current problems of Kathmandu, all we can see is increase in economy of the country due to the export of energy, like I mentioned before. We can invest that in public-funded healthcare. That's how we solve the health issue. Again, government side of the house believes with this policy based on public-private partnership, focusing on people-based initiations and bringing out people for a change, can make Kathmandu city livable by 2030. Thank you.
Speaker spoke for 8 minutes 23 seconds. Thank you, Kapil. Next, I'd like to invite the Leader of Opposition, Safranta Casey, to deliver her speech.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today I am here to present the views from the opposition side of the House. Time is certainly not enough till 2030 for having major changes. We have a problem with the system. Things have not been done in time in the past, and the present situation is messy. So, does the proposition side think that the whole system will be changed and things can be properly implemented till 2030? A definite no. It is not plausible, people. First of all, I almost agree with their definition of livable, but they fail to address the fact that how many people will find that thing to be livable? 90% of the people living happily, will it be livable? Or the whole of 100% must be happy to ensure that the city is livable? This is a loophole that I find in the definition. To provide the team stance, people of Kathmandu Valley have been suffocating, not only the air they breathe, but in the crowd they live, in everything they have, in everything the city has to offer to them. Things are messed up, and clearing this problem will take time. 15 years? Oh, it's simply not possible. So, let me make it clear to the House if we are talking about survival right now or livable right now. The points that they addressed about drinking water, about electricity, those are basic needs, my friend. So, what do we mean by having a livable condition? The proposition side of the House failed to address the point about political and social environment. The crime in Kathmandu city is high. It has become a hub for criminals these days. Mind you, my friend, Charles Sobraj was arrested in Kathmandu Valley. The crime rates are so high that there have been cases of drug trafficking and so on. So, law enforcement also has not been good enough in the valley. In the capital city of the country, there are not good provisions for security. A girl cannot walk in the streets of Tamil at night with proper security. So what are we talking about without security? Is providing electricity and drinking water making the city livable? Yes, electricity and drinking water can be available, but those are basic needs, my friends. The proposition side of the house has failed to address how people can be happy. They have failed to address the social-cultural environment, the social-cultural environment which has to be addressed as well. And talking about Melonji bringing in water, the Yangri and Larke project is to be completed by 2032, and we are talking about 2030. So you have contradicted yourself, so does it make any sense? Similarly, the proposition side of the house talked about the PPP project. So where is the government, my friends? Government is not involved in making Kathmandu Valley a livable place.
Sir.
Yeah, sure.
Do you know the full form of PPP?
Yeah, I do. You've just explained, and I know that. To add on, what I am talking about is, what is PPP? Is there an organization to check it? PPP has already failed in BPKIHS of Taran. So what if it fails? Are we here to take such a big risk? A definite no. So now moving on to what we mean by survival. Food, clothes, shelter, health, and water is what the opposition side believes to be in what the opposition side of the house believes to be survival needs. But what are the indicators of livability? Good school, education, and job opportunities. Have there been enough job opportunities, and has the proposition side addressed the fact why are crime rates so high? Because there is no job opportunities on offer. If there were people having enough money that they for living a good standard of life, then wouldn't the crime rates now be low? Certainly, yes. Similarly, we are failing to address that looking into the problem is not the solution. Let's have an example of the present ongoing expansion of road. Does the expansion of road create a sustainable transport system? Has the fact been addressed? Increasing roads, increasing population, increasing congestion. The problem is going to come back like a boomerang back to us. So has that been addressed? Has the proper public transport system been addressed? Nothing, my friends. Nothing has been properly addressed by the proposition side of the house, and I would like to make that clear to the house today. Similarly, they have not talked about air pollution, noise pollution, which is skyrocketing in Kathmandu Valley, and I will be defending that during my arguments. Similarly, sewage and solid waste management. Do you think without sewage and solid waste management, Kathmandu can be a livable place? Let me give an example of Biratnagar a few years, some time ago. The drainage and drinking water facilities were so unmanaged that due to a leakage in drainage, jaundice period as the drainage and drinking water pipes were side by side. And what is the condition in Kathmandu Valley right now? It's the same. Anything can happen right now. They have not addressed the fact of proper solid waste management. Kathmandu, more than 50% of the sewage of Kathmandu is dumped every day. Solid waste in Kathmandu is dumped every day. There is no sewage treatment plant. It is dumped, literally dumped in cisterns. So, do the proposition side think that without proper solid waste management and sewage disposal, Kathmandu Valley will be a better place to live in? They have not addressed the fact that wherever we go, we see heaps of waste unmanaged. So what about that? To add on, I think the natural environment is also something they have failed to address. Let's think about Kathmandu being a prone zone to earthquake. One earthquake and everything is gone, which will be explained by my second speaker. Now to go on to the arguments the opposition side has to present, there are three arguments. Our below par past, the messy present, and the fragile future. First, the third point will be explained by my second speaker, and the first point, our below par past. We have a history of late development, unmanaged planning and poor execution. Nepal has been a country of political feud and no sustainable thinking, planning and implementation. So what do the proposition side think? That a jury will come out and make